Hey friends, Happy New Year to you. It's 2025 already. The Edmonton Oilers in the thick of the playoff hunt here as we flip the calendar to the back half and, well, currently about 6.5 months away from hopefully watching the Edmonton Oilers lift the Stanley Cup in downtown Edmonton as we get towards what will be the conclusion of the 24-25 NHL season. Today's video, a long teased edition of Dolynny TV, as I've talked about this for about the past 2-3 weeks at this point. Haven't gotten around to doing the video. Well, New Year's Day, why not start it off with a bang and get to it? As the Edmonton Oilers, you know they need upgrades. We talked about that the other day, and we'll talk about one specific upgrade I want to see back on the team for a second playoff run out of the past 3 seasons here with the Edmonton Oilers. If you are new to the channel though, friends, start it off. Subscribe. You know what? Stick around for the rest of the year. Like I said, the Oilers, pretty good odds. They go out there and lift the Stanley Cup this summer, specifically if they make some upgrades to the team and, round out what is a very dynamic roster that includes the talents of Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, a returning and fully healthy Vander Kane. There is a lot to love about this Edmonton Oilers team, and I'd love to have you follow along in every frustrating, exciting moment we get the rest of the year here as we go towards a Stanley Cup championship. Now, that said, friends, we've seen some guys come and go with the Edmonton Oilers, and one guy that kind of pained me to have gone not this past offseason, the year before, and he went right back home to Arizona, which was a really weird go for the Edmonton Oilers. Basically a pure rental that went back and re-signed a little bit bigger of a contract than the Oilers could afford, granted. That was Nick Bjugstad, who we had for the playoff run against both the LA Kings and the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, again, if anyone's sitting here, well, he didn't work, why would we go out there and do it again? Simply Nick Bjugstad in your bottom six. He's a 6'6" guy, over 200 pounds, has size, skill, and ability down low in the offensive zone. That was what was proven during that playoff run. Now, obviously, again, was he insulated by necessarily the best talent we had available on the roster to date? No, that is here this year in Edmonton as we get some more guys returning. But again, Nick Bjugstad, I think you come out of last night's game where you shuffled Ryan Nugent-Hopkins down to the bottom six. You had Adam Henrique starting on the fourth line last night. I know things kind of go from there as they go, but you kind of understand where I'm saying is the Oilers have a lot of ways they can dynamically shift their lineup around, but having a big sized bottom six right-hand shot centerman at a cost that's really not going to be all that inhibitive, right? $2.1 million at getting Bjugstad at 1.05 or even at a quarter retention, and then also going out there and getting your top 4 D-man. The Edmonton Oilers can make that happen, especially if they are indeed going to move on from Jeff Skinner here before the NHL trade deadline. So what I like about Nick Bjugstad, well, friends, hold up, that's the wrong one. That's the graphic we use to understand why we need to be talking about Nick Bjugstad today. Simply what I love about Nick Bjugstad is you look at these minutes, you look at these point totals. Nick Bjugstad is a guy who, generally speaking, over the past several years has played a lot of minutes in the bottom six. This is a guy that, again, doesn't produce huge results, but you're not asking for huge results. You're asking for a little bit of time on the penalty kill if necessary. You're asking for a little bit of time just spent in the offensive zone, kind of ragdolling the opposition, and you're asking for a little bit of offensive upside. But what else is intriguing about Nick Bjugstad, a former first-round pick who, like I said, in the 22-23 season played 19 games in the regular season with the Oilers. He has that upside in elevated minutes. Again, you're targeting him likely as your fourth-line center. You're hoping that Adam Henrique works it out, and you're just upgrading on Derek Ryan. That's what I'm basically sitting here saying to you today. But what you gotta like about Nick Bjugstad is you look at kind of, depending on the ice time, generally if he's in the bottom six, he's somewhere between the 0.23 to 0.39, but you kind of get this where he elevates up the lineup a bit, and you start seeing 17 minutes around ice time. Last year in Arizona on a not so great team, how about a total of 45 points last year, right? This is a guy who, given time, can work a little magic. I'm not going to say he's going to score you all the goals in the playoffs and solve that, because I'm hoping that's Connor Brown and Matthias Janmark running it back this year. But you kind of understand, is having size, having a guy that can move around out there. He's rangy in the offensive zone, can extend plays by overwhelming players down low. I don't see that at all as a bad thing for the Edmonton Oilers. I know, kind of, if you go back here, he is 32 this year. That, again, the Oilers are older, but who cares? Again, the big thing is Derek Ryan is, what, 37, 38 years old. So you're going to tell me that Nick Bjugstad's too old to replace Derek Ryan at 32 years old? Tell me that. But again, a right hand shot, which keeps a dynamic piece in the lineup, and at 6'6", Nick Bjugstad at $2.1 million. If he costs you more at the trade deadline than he did last time around, and let me tell you, the Oilers paid a pretty price giving away Michael Kesselring, but again, they had also made the decision to choose Vinny Desharnais over Kesselring in the organizational depth chart, and they also had Broberg along on the right side that they had to be mindful of. Not that they were, but you get where I'm going. So it's kind of one of those things here for the Oilers. This is a guy that, again, I don't know if anyone's talking about him, but I would be sitting here targeting him all day to rejoin the Oilers for another playoff run. And specifically, it's just he's coming back from the same old team, right? Utah's the old Arizona Coyotes, so why not have a little bit of fun, regroup the old guys back to the roster. I know everybody's crying about Ryan McLeod, crying about Warren Foegele, Dylan Holloway, and Philip Broberg. Hey, where's the chatter for Nick Bjugstad, who would be absolutely an awesome piece to add to the Edmonton Oilers lineup come playoff time, right? You had him, you had a right-hand shot or a left-hand shot, big, mean, physical, tough defending, top 4 D-man, and suddenly this Edmonton Oilers team looks like a complete unit the moment Evander Kane steps back on the ice for the Edmonton Oilers. So, looking forward to seeing what happens here. Obviously, the trade rumors are going to be running around wild here over the next few weeks as we get towards middle of February and teams start once again probably pulling the trigger on trades. I know there was some thought that maybe things would start rolling right out of the holiday freeze. That doesn't appear to be the case, but trust me, things are about to heat up here in the NHL, and I'm hoping the Edmonton Oilers, at least as of right now, have Nick Bjugstad on their radar, because I would love to see number 72 back in the Oilers lineup, rolling around out there, bodying guys, and of course, scoring some goals down low like he did last time out in the NHL playoffs. Friends, for right now, though, I am up on out of here. I hope your new year goes off well. If there's any news for the Oilers today, we'll talk about it. But for right now, I think we've talked about everything we have to. So we'll catch you in the next one.